So there's a big at the end, a question, answer, issues. I want everybody here to be free to say what you feel and to be honest. I come from, let me first start with welcoming everybody here. Thank you so much for coming. There was only a select group of people who were invited, and the reason for that is because I was able to sit down with Jerry and go through some listings, sold, the normal real estate stuff. And then I did social media research and production research and basically got to know a little bit about all of your personalities. And I'm really good at that. And I wanted a group of people here who I could be honest with, who I know would be honest back with me. I don't know any different. I'm a nurse of 17 years. I know no different than being completely honest and truthful. That is the industry I grew up in. And so when I became a real estate agent and was found that I went from the highest respected profession to the lowest respected profession, that was quite a culture shock for me. So sometimes people will say, I met you and we get to talking and I'm very frank. What you see is what you get. I am completely invisible. You can ask me any question and I do not know how to not answer it, honestly and truthfully. That is just who I am. In the nursing industry, doctors would go around and say, well, you got 2 to 6 weeks to live. And then I come in and go, look, you're going to die. Can I give you a cake? What can I do to make your rest of your life better? Because there's no reason to beat around the bush, right? We're going to show hope and we're going to show faith, but we also can't just ignore the elephant that's in the room. So I'm going to start off with telling you that, again, I just appreciate that you're here. Let me give you a little bit of background. Some of you know who I am. Some of you have heard the story before, so I hope I don't bore you. But I was a nurse, okay? I was a nurse. And when I say I was a nurse, that meant I completely identified myself, my entire existence in the world of worlds as a nurse. I didn't know any different. People would say, well, and mind you, I have ADHD, so I do several different things. But when people say, well, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? I'm a nurse. And I am prideful of that. And going into being a nurse, I got very dissatisfied. I was very dissatisfied with the way the industry was going because we can't provide ultimate care anymore. It is more dollar-driven now than it is ever before. And I worked my last 8 years in labor and delivery. I love shutting the door. I'm big into the energy healing, into the energy movement. I love that stuff. So I was able to be with my patients, experience that major life-changing event. But as soon as I walked out that door, I didn't like the people I was with. And with all due respect, the nurses, I love the nurses, but I didn't like the attitudes. I didn't like there's a patient at the door. I'm going to run to the bathroom so I don't have to take care of them. I didn't like those attitudes. And I didn't want to become that person. And I slowly found myself being that. And I didn't want to be that anymore, right? So I had a nervous breakdown. Not really. I didn't go to the mental institution and get medicated. But I found myself in my pantry throwing everything out of the cupboards at the wall going, why am I here? Why do I exist? What is my purpose in life? How come I'm so dissatisfied with such a giving profession? How come? And what came out of that was I'm to be in a profession where it's giving, where I still get to experience those life-changing events, but as a professional, as somebody who stands up for integrity, as somebody who gets it and is not a commodity, right? So I chose real estate. Why did I choose real estate? Because you guys are going, really? You chose real estate? We had different trailers for each aspect of the industry because where we came from, we didn't have the luxury of the subs. We had luxury of a plumber and electrical and, sheetrock if we wanted to hire somebody out because I hate to sand. I hate sanding. So I would work my 3 nights. I would sleep half a day, and then I would put a tool belt on. With my tennis shoes, my scruff, my hair pulled back, I am probably one of the manliest girls you'll ever meet in your entire life. I know how to lay tile, I know how to sheetrock, I know how to paint, I know how to do concrete, sand concrete, roofing, all that. I know how to do all that. Do I love it? No. It was not my chosen profession, but I enjoy spending time with my husband. And up until he went into construction and I went into nursing, we actually worked the same job, same hours. So for the first 3 years of our life, we were together literally 24 hours a day. So I'm part of him. That's who I am. So I really enjoyed that. So here I am in the middle of my crisis, and I go to work, and God hits me on top of the head with a 2x4 and says, "You're not getting it. You're not listening to me, so I'm going to fire you." And he fired me. I got fired from being a nurse. A year of depression, people. A year of, that's who I am. Right? So in that year, I decided, well, I'm not going to go back to school. I'm in my 40s, and I make really good money as a nurse. So I'm going to go into real estate because that's what I am. That's what I do. So I went into real estate. True fact. Walked into Keller Williams. They said, this is the funniest thing. Do you know how to talk to people? Do you know how to talk to strangers? I said, are you kidding me? Do you have any idea what I've done to strangers? I've done things to strangers that nobody should ever do. Talking to them is nothing, right? So I started with Keller Williams. I have to tell you, I love Keller Williams as a new agent. Love them. They have a great education program. They're very into it. But I am not your traditional person. Within a month and a half, I watched every single video that they offered in their back office. I read 4 books. I attended every conference that they offered in their office plus one. And then I sat there going, well, wait, where's all the clients? I'm doing all I'm supposed to do, right? I'm sitting in my office, so I joined a team. I'll give you 2 guesses whose team I joined. Joined a team because I felt like that was automatic. 50% of my income? Sure, I'll give them 50% of my income in order to get those leads. To me, I felt like that was a good deal. So I started working that team. I had a few closes, but then I realized I don't want to do real estate. I don't want to do real estate. I want to be the real estate agent. And I want to do luxury only. That's what I want. I don't want to spend 90% of my time chasing a $100,000 buyer. I don't want that. I want to chase or attract. You switch the words around. I want to attract that $1 million buyer. Because first off, they know what they want. They know what they can afford. They know the area they want. They know they need or demand great service, which I already know how to do. To me, that was simple, right? Simple. Well, I got that, no, you haven't earned your right to be a luxury agent. So I got a call out of the blue, because God does that for me. Got a call out of the blue, it was Julie Miller. When am I to join my team? I said, awesome, I'm on my way. Walked into Dave Week's office and I said, I'm done. I'm going with Julie Miller at Red Rock. I appreciate everything you've done. Great agency. Someday I'll be back, but I'm going to be your education coordinator. But for now, I'm going off to a different area. Joined Julie Miller's team. I love her. People in this room, I want you to know, if there's any agent out there that you absolutely should trust and work with, Julie Miller is her. Period. She is amazing. That woman is amazing. Let me tell you what I found with her. I found that she didn't know how to market herself, and she has no self-confidence. None. She can outwork me she can work me into the ground. No self-confidence whatsoever. So here we were, I was trying to help her with some of her marketing and things like that, and I realized quickly that where I wanted to go in my life, that was not going to work for me. I left her team. She changed brokerages, and here I was again on my own, again trying to figure it out. So I started reading books, and I read books, and I read books, and I read books. First thing it said, get a TV show, so I went and got one. I now write, produce, and host a TV show. Then it said, get a radio show. There's one in the works. Do a podcast. Starting Monday, I have my own podcast with Keith Kelly. So I'm doing everything it's saying to do because my mantra is, if you're in the media, it becomes easy to close sales. How do you be in the media? And how do you do it for free or cheap? You become a writer. I write now for the Inman News. The Inman News is a global magazine about real estate. The top producers in the world write for the Inman News. How did I do that? I called them and said, hey, I want to write for you. They said, oh, great. Super simple, people. It's really super simple. So I don't need to tell you to do that to brag. I need to tell you that these are the things we have to do, right, in order to be where we want to go. So Jerry calls me and says, hey, Melinda, I want you to start our luxury division. And we had a meeting, and I said, Jerry, I can't. Because I had the mentality of, I can build a team for myself, or I can build a team for Remax, right? And at that time, I was very selfish, very, very selfish. So I said, Jerry, I appreciate your offer. I just can't do this. I'm going to go to a luxury conference with Inman News. As soon as I'm done with that, we'll talk again. So I went to this conference. It was held at a $139 million listing right in the heart of LA. The guest speaker is Christoph Chow, who is, by the way, the #1 callable banker luxury real estate agent in the United States. Dolly Lentz, who is a multi-billionaire in real estate in New York. Brad Inman, who owns the magazine. Madison Hildebrandt, who does millionaire listing on TV. Josh Altman, Heather Value, who both do the millionaire listing on TV. There were some high-powered people there. And I was sitting there watching, because I was people watch, and it was, hey, I haven't seen you since the last conference. How are you doing? Did you get my referral? Hey, how are you? I haven't seen you. Oh, thank you so much. You closed that deal. Oh, hey. And I realized one thing, the one missing thing at that conference. We cannot market, and I've said this to Ben and a couple other agents in town, we cannot market $1 million listings in St. George. You cannot market that here. The people that work here cannot afford it. People that work at McDonald's cannot afford it. How do you get out? How do you get $1 million listings out in the world without so much money? It's building those relationships, right? You have to build those relationships to people who have that. How do I do that on my own? Because I don't have the time or the effort. So I sat Josh Altman and Heather Value down at lunch, and I said, here's what I'm doing. Now I respect him because he's done what I'm trying to do. He is on millionaire listing. He's a top producer now. He does what I'm trying to do. And he said to me, oh, TV show is the best thing I ever did. Really a little arrogant. Yeah, you'll do fine, you'll do fine. And Heather grabbed my hand and she said, Melinda, you cannot do this without a team. You cannot do anything like these people in this room do without a team. So I came back and I called Jerry and I said, Jerry, I'm still working on this. And he says, okay, kid, just whatever, you've got time. And I went to a conference held here locally with Brendan Broadwater. I don't know if you guys know Brendan Broadwater. He makes about $2 million a month. Kid you not. He lives here in St. George, and he does public speaking about spirituality and work and how it all comes together for clarity. And by the way, route, right? I've got my TV show, I've got my radio show, I've got my podcast, I've got my marketing. By the way, I am a social media lover. Love social media. I've got all that going, right? But I can't break through that concrete on my own. I can't. Nobody can. Let me tell you, if they tell you they can, they're wrong. And that is a hard reality. Because, you know, I don't want to just sell one house a year, $1 million house a year. I'm not happy with that. I like to be busy. So I need people down here growing their roots as well. Because if I can get people growing their roots as well, together we will break through this concrete and we will grow our tree. And our tree will grow 3 to 5 feet a day. That's why you got a tree on your invitation. That's kind of fun. 30 minutes into that, and I said, I get it. I called Jerry during that conference, and I said, we're meeting tomorrow morning at 9. I left the conference because it was the next day, and I met with Jerry, and I said, here's the deal. I don't want to build a team. I do not like how traditional teams are built. It is not about me on top and my sign and your neighbor, oh, you might get that listing, but it's my listing, and I'm going to give you 50%. I'm not about being your rainmaker either, right? I want to clarify that. I do not offer everything for free in order for you to get 50%. It has its place, not in the luxury market. It does not have a place in the luxury market. So I said to Jerry, we're building a division. And we're building a division that is fair, and honest, and true. And that division will be the defining maker of agents in town who belong to that division. That division is going to not only promote me as a division director, but you individually as agents as well. So, did some research. This is the research I did. If you'll look at this really quickly. This is as April 2015, the current statistics. Now, I know that when I say luxury home, I'm sure 3 or 4 people pop in your head immediately that do luxury marketing. And by the way, those people were not invited to my meeting. And I'll tell you why. The reason they weren't invited is because they have their systems, and their systems work for them. And that is awesome. And I think that's good. So in April 2015, active listings, currently the luxury market, now this is 600,000 and above, is equal to 13% of the current listings on the market. 13% of our listings are 600 and above. If you look at, we have over 60, 600 to 700, 50, around 50, 7 to 8, around 20 for the 8 to 9, around 15 for the 9 to 1 million, and around 55 for the 1 million to 2, and around 60 for the greater than 2 million. So that tells me a few things. 1, we don't market our 600 to 700 very well at all. And 2, we do not market our 2 million and above very good at all. And the majority of people must be able to buy between the 800 and 1 million pretty quickly, right? Because that's lower inventory. Days on market quite surprised me because I always hear, oh, the luxury market, days on market, it's like 4 years. You got 4 years. And then I realized, really you have 1 to 30 days. 1 to 30 days and then greater than 121. And so, you know, I didn't go into depth to figure out the full price points on those, but that is the plan. Cash is always key. We've got 68% of those were bought in cash, and then it goes down to owner financing. But interesting, who's who, right? Your who's who. Julie Millett, Engel and Volker. I don't know, does anybody know what Engel and Volker is? Yeah? Okay, that's Ellen Plant. Ellen joined Engel and Volker, and Engel and Volker is ultra high-end luxury only. And their brokerage is amazing, great brokerage. They
not a lot of agents that understand all that is involved, all that's available under the HOA dues, they look at the HOA dues and go, boy, $450 or whatever that number is, and they freak out not knowing that the gates, the fitness center, all the things that come available. So just knowledge of what they're selling, what those developments have to offer.
Right. So let me put this in perspective as well. I appreciate that because I got it. I got it at the beginning. Some of those are very difficult. Some of them, when you're coming out from the outside world and you're looking at all the HOAs, you almost crap your pants. You're like, really? I know all those rules? You know what I'm saying? So with that said, I've kind of done some research on how we can make that a little bit easier for ourselves as agents as well. So I appreciate that. But let me put you in a mindset too as an agent, right? When I need milk in my refrigerator, which is often because my kids drink it, but before, when I couldn't afford that gallon of milk, and I looked at an HOA at $500 a month, I personally felt like I could not sell that. I couldn't sell it. I don't even have $500. If my dad died tomorrow, what would I do financially to even get to his side, let alone $500 for an HOA? So as an agent coming in, and what I hear through people watching and eavesdropping, that's a hard sell. It's a really hard sell. But I get it. As soon as I sold my very first house, I sold it in reserves. They're tennis fanatics. The guy worked for NASA. The girl works for the World Wide Web. She actually does all the big promotions for the World Wide Web. They bought in there because they're tennis fanatics. To them, $500 a month was nothing. They're like, really? That's it? $500 a month? Wow, we can do that. You know, so now I have clients in Aspen, and when I go into Aspen, they're like, we don't have to pay for parking. Are you serious? We can park like at our house in our own garage, and I don't have to pay for that? So we have to get out of that mindset of that, and I really believe that a lot of real estate agents don't do the research because they're in that mindset. So Keith, what about you? What do you think agents can do? And your wife's an agent, right? So I'm sure you guys have this conversation every night.
They don't, one of the things that agents don't read well, and this is just from my perspective, being a bartender in LA with the high-end restaurant, they don't know how to read old money and new money, and how those two different types of money actually looks at luxury home.
Okay.
If it's old money, it's going to be meticulous. It's going to be a little bit anal. It's going to be very particular. A lot of slower process. If it's new money, it's typically not that way. They're not as sophisticated. However, they do want it done right.
Right.
But you have to approach those two types of people and fit their needs. You have to service them entirely different.
Entirely different.
Right.
Now with that said, you guys know that we have more millionaires coming out of high school than we ever had in the history of the United States. They're coming out of high school, people with millions of dollars. And how do they do that? These are the kids like my son who go, hi mom, hi dad, thank you, and they go to the room and they shut their door. And back in the day, we used to wonder what they did with their door shut. Now they're making money. They're developing apps. They're developing technological things that are changing our world by light speeds. And they are making money. They're selling their app for $1.99. But they just made $30,000 last month. You know, so how do you market to that type of kid? We're talking kids, 17, 18 years old. We're talking multi-billion-dollar jets. We're talking jets with theaters. We think it's so cool. We have a house with a theater. We're talking jets with theaters. Okay, how do you market to that? That's on the newer money. The older money, I agree, is a little bit more, they know value a little bit more. They know their woods. They know their countertops. They know what they like. And sometimes as builders, I'm sure we're
I've been schmoozed over the years by real estate agents wanting to be my exclusive agent. And my comment to them is sell one of my houses first. And show me that you can actually sell a house.
Right.
That you can show it. And I had, in Florida when I was building there, I had countless realtors show up with clients at my homes. And that was the first time those agents ever stepped foot inside my home.
Right.
They'd walk in the door and they'd have to look around first and say, oh, this is the living room. Okay. And I'd excuse them out and I'd take the customers through myself.
Right.
I'll walk them through the details of the home, why we did certain things. And so most of them were just happy to list the house and hope that somebody sells it for them.
Yeah.
Very few of them really did their due diligence and understood what went into a home, a custom home, and even stepping foot in the house during construction or after construction. So,
Have you marked it up with people? Now, it's interesting, I asked my husband just yesterday, and I have to tell you again, he is my #1 supporter. I would not be here today without him. I absolutely adore and love him. We're celebrating 24 years this year. 25, we're making it to 25, I'm surprised with the renewal of vows at Hawaii, so not be saying anything. So, I said to him, why do you think contractors don't use agents? I mean, let's be frank. This is what he said. You know what? He said, I have spent a year, 9 months, 8 months on that job site, and I've barely made $30,000. And you're going to turn around in less than an hour and make $30,000? Why would I let you sell my house? That comes back to an interesting perspective. Because, when I first got my very first check, $14,000, I panicked, I kissed it, and I said, do I really deserve it? Do I deserve it? Like, you guys, I was a nurse, I wiped butts for a living. So, I went to the bank, true story, I went to the bank, I handed it to the cashier, and I said, can you cash that? And she was like, yeah. Can you cash it now? And can you lay all the hundreds out in a row? So she, $14,000, and I'm 1, 2, 3, and I had to been drooling, right? And I put it all in a little bag, and I put it in my pocket, and my daughter goes, are you freaking kidding me? You're walking out of the bank with $14,000 in your hand? As loud as she could. And I said, okay, you guard me. Why am I like running an army? You guard me, okay? And I'm gonna run to the car, and I'm gonna get in, and I'm gonna start it, and then you're gonna come, we're gonna lock the doors, and I cried. I cried. Because I felt like I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve it. So it got me thinking, how do I, as the direction, the division, or he calls it the division, so I guess that's its official name. How do I, as the division director, make sure every agent in my division can service your needs, become valuable to you, become what you want? How do I do that? Right? And the only way to do that is to have that relationship. For you to be able to come to me and go, dude, yeah, I know you're not my agent on this listing, but this is what went wrong and this is what could improve you. Or, hey, I've got this investment, but this is where it's been lacking in the past. And I have to tell you, I made that mistake. I contacted all the contractors when I first came out and was like, hey, I know the construction industry. And they looked at me, yeah, you're a ditzy blonde. No, thanks. So some of the things I've done for Ben is everybody knows the just listed, just sold cards, yes? And I swear to you, people in the real estate industry say that is gold. Just listed, just sold cards. So I went to a couple agents and I said, well, you work with builders, right? So what do you do for your builder? And they said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, what do you do for your builder? Your builder is giving you $3 million worth of inventory. $3 million you're sitting on inventory from your do you do for them? And I have to tell you, I asked several people, and every agent I asked said nothing. Every single one of them said nothing. I do nothing. I'm like, but you expect that bill, Joe? Well, yeah. I go to church with him on Sunday. Well, I don't care that you go to church with him on Sunday. He's sitting on $3 million worth of inventory and you do nothing. Nothing. So, after that conversation with several people, I asked several because I tend to like a poll. I approached Ben and I said, hey Ben, can we do something? I want to experiment for a minute. I want to do under construction and just completed card. And what's going to happen with this is your agent's not going to be on that card because I'm going to be represented as a buyer's agent because it's not my listing. I can't legally do that, right? So I am the buyer's agent and it says buyer's agent. And it advertises Ben. It has his logo on it. It has under construction. It has his contact information. And it has my contact information. And we sent it out to what, 300-400 people? And interesting enough, I kind of did it unbeknownst to Ben a couple more times. And what happened was I realized Ben would be like, oh, God, we got 3 more bills. We got 3 more bills. And it was constant. And I kept track of when I was secretly doing it. I'm sorry. But I kept track of when I was secretly doing it because I wanted to see if that was helping his business, right? I was investigating, I was researching. Is it helping his business? And I'm going to help his business because my husband works for him, right? I want my husband to make money. I got a Hawaii trip in a year, so I need him to make money, right? Inevitably, there was a pattern. Now, Ben's always got work, but there was a pattern. I could see there was always more talk, more chatter about 2 weeks after I sent that. So I mailed out a flyer to all the contractors in town offering free marketing. Do you know not a single contractor took the bite? Not one. Not one contractor. Why? Because I'm the ditzy blonde who all I want is our listing. And the reality is, if I can identify myself with a good builder, I've already done my marketing, right? And maybe I'll bring a buyer. Maybe I'll bring a buyer. And that's all I want. Yeah, do I want to be your exclusive listing agent? Absolutely. But the reality is, in the world of real estate and investments, I can't be. Because when somebody comes to me and says, who do you recommend? Legally, I have to give them 3 choices. Now, do I want to be your exclusive agent on all 3 of contractors? Well, yeah. Yeah. I would love that, right? So there's a give and take there, and there's got to be a professional understanding. There is a set of values. So, my TV show did the same thing. I offer 30 minutes, people, 30 minutes of a full-on conversation, 15 with just the contractor, for me to show your house, $1 million and above, 2 contractors in town, 3 if we can get your buyer to allow us in there, are doing it. The other contractors say, why? Why? What do I have to give you in order to get that treatment? They're all asking me, how much do I owe you? What will it cost me? Well, if I'm sitting on $3 million of your inventory, you should never, ever wonder why. Ever wonder why. So that's my big thing, right? That's my huge thing. So we're going to talk about, what time do I have, Jerry?
15 minutes.
Oh, I have 15 minutes?
You're
We're
on
gonna talk
a roll.
about that. Okay, so we're going to talk about what I want to do as far as the division is concerned. Did I answer everybody's questions? Did I clarify what I want to do? Okay, because I want to make sure you all understand. How many of you know traditional team, right? 50%, we talked about that. That you've got Mother Teresa up here, you've got all of her followers. And I say that with due respect, please. I didn't know what else to say and I'm on the spot. So, and this is her listing sign, or his, or theirs, right? much defining and so much education that these people down here cannot do it, and this person up here cannot keep these people involved. The average time on this team is 3 to 6 months. You have that turnover every 3 to 6 months. In the luxury market, you can't have that. You cannot have that. So how do we do a division? I propose that we do one weekly activity. This activity is research. Because like Ben said, nobody knows. The agents don't know. So we pick a geographical area or a subdivision and we research it. We get the HOAs. We get how many units are there. We get what's active. We get what's sold. People, this is like farming, but in luxury you can't just farm. You can't knock doors, right? The old knocking doors doesn't work. So we get all this in this week, time period. And at the end of the week, we go on a tour. This is a team tour. And the reason I say that is because as a team, we have to be presented as a team. If Ben, for instance, says, hey, Melinda, I got this listing, and I say, great, I'm going to send Jackie over. Ben knows Jackie's on my team, right? He knows. People have to know that you are on the team. You can't just show up and go, hey, Ben, never met you before, but I'm on your team. That doesn't work, right? So researching, this is number one weekly activity. Number two, we do a monthly activity. Once a month, same day, every third Thursday, every second Wednesday, I don't really care. We do a monthly activity in the community. As a team. The reason we do this, 90% of the people call me and they say, what is your community like? Tell me about your community. How do you enjoy your community? Are the Mormons really that bad? Do we get that sort of conversation? We have to prove that we all are lovely people and that this is our best community. So in order to do this, we do a community team activity. On the side, what are we doing this whole time? We're blogging about it, we're social media about it, we're Instagramming about it, because we want people to know that we exist. How many of you were at the Washington Board Realtors with Maria on Thursday? Anybody? Yeah, what's her thing? Nobody knows you exist. People stop hiding. That was her whole thing, right? So we do a monthly activity. Then we do twice a year. As a group, twice a year we go to the Inman conferences. One's on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast. Why do we do this? Networking. Getting to know Dolly Watts personally is an amazing thing, people. She's a multi-billionaire. If she can send you $1 million person, we're going to love her for that, right? So we're going to do that twice a year as a team, as a division, as a group. So I wrote an article in Inman about this, and one guy said to me, oh, if the entire division leaves, who runs the business? You're going to lose all that business. Okay, we're talking luxury. We're talking, you know, I can call somebody tomorrow. We're talking Jerry. Hey, Jerry, we're all going to San Francisco in August. We're going to be gone 4 days. Can you help us out? You know what I'm saying? It's called a referral. Somebody, you can like say, yes, I will give you a referral fee if you take care of my customers like I would. If it's $1 million customer, they will. Okay, one time a year, we do a yearly activity. Here's the clincher. You guys ready for this? This is humanitarian mission. cannot expect people to give to us if we don't give back. Period. And you know what, real estate agents make a lot of money. Luxury real estate make a lot of money. In the real world, maybe not in St. George yet. But we need to do this. We need to give back. There's some interesting things about answering mission that will totally define your entire life. If you ever go to Guatemala or Mexico or Peru and you build a greenhouse for people who can only plant potatoes, then you really get an idea of what it's like to live in our world and toss around the fact that, oh, we made $70 million last year. You really get that perspective. But it also does a couple of things for you as a group. Right? You share that experience, you come back and you value people's experiences a little bit more. On the business side, it looks awfully good when we're writing that we actually get that. That we know how to get that. And that we know how to provide and take a portion of what we earn and make the world better. So that is the division in my eyes. And that is the only way we're going to be able to go 3 to 4 feet a day. Any questions, comments, concerns, ideas? Please speak.
You mentioned that when you went to the MM conference, you told me that story that you were the first from Utah to go. Mention that real quick.
Yeah, they had no idea what they were in for, did they? So I'm at the front. I'm a front row learner. Okay, I have to be front row. A, students in the front, F, students in the back. That was something I grew up with, and I can't stand the chatter. I can't stand the noise behind me, so I'm always in the front. So I show up early. I was about half an hour early, and they get on there and they're talking and they're doing their panels, and Brad Inman stands up and he opens it for questions. And so, of course, I paid $895 for that ticket, and I sold a kidney to get there, right? So I'm like, I have a question. And he says, stand up, introduce yourself, where are you from? So I stood up, I introduced myself, and I said, I'm from Utah. And he goes, wait just a minute, what? And I said, I'm from Utah. And he goes, praise the Lord, somebody from Utah is finally at one of my conferences. Now, I thought that was quite interesting. From that point on, I was called Utah. And that's fine. That's not the first time. But what was more interesting was the developer that was talking is developing a multi-million-dollar thing in Park City. Says to me, well, are you by Park City? I said, no. Well, wait, I'm confused. You're from Utah? Yes. How far are you from Park City? I'm like 4.5 hours. Wait, there's Park City and there's Salt Lake. Now where from? I mean, he could not grasp the fact that I was from Utah, but we didn't live by Park City. And so I found that was an impression too. You say you're from Utah, everybody assumes it's Park City because Park City is the only place in Utah that has luxury, right? So is going on? And he said, well, I got my first $600,000 buyer. I don't know what to do. I said, it's 2x4s and sheetrock. I think you'll be fine. And he said, no, I really don't know what to do. He said, when I walk into those houses, I panic. He said, I purely panic. And you see that a lot. There's a lot of that going on. So when you have an agent that has that ability or the opportunity, they want it really, really bad, but they panic. And so I think that's part of the education process too. So I believe we're at 1, exactly?
Well, I think another thing that we looked at was, there's 1,200 now licensed agents in the board, and there's literally 200 that are doing the business. You average that out.
Right.
So there's a lot of people out there that could use some additional education and training on communities, and might want to think about referring that out
Right.
to someone that does understand the custom home that these builders are building.
Well, and that's part of why the division is going to be set up the way it is. There's certain things, I want to look into luxury rentals and there's a whole different area. Like I did a Twitter. You guys, people are consumed by social media. I did a tweet the other day about close to Vegas, corporate housing. Call me. I literally had 25 people within an hour follow me on Twitter.
Oh,
But we have tons of houses that are sitting empty right now that could be easily corporate housing. If we know where to find the corporate house or finance, right? And that's part of our education. So there's a whole different aspect of it than just selling $1 million house. There's a world of it.
well, I think masterminding is always good to generate ideas. Somebody will go, oh yeah, we could be doing that,
Right,
It's just good to know.
right. And then we have to do it as a group, for real. So I'm going to extend the invitation to everybody, all the agents who are here, to, if you're interested in joining our division and exploring that idea a little bit further, then Jerry and I are happy to take you to lunch and talk to you about what will be the money, the breakdowns, everything like that. If you're not, but you're interested in learning more, I'm happy to start doing some classes as we get going, as well as you might come upon somebody that is interested or would be good, maybe you can refer them to us. Okay? All right, well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. It's 1. Here we go.
Thanks, guys.